So we're working on many of my DIY projects I have for this summer, and today is going to be a memorial sign that I'm going to be using for the wedding. So it's super hot out today, and I just want to kind of get this done as quickly as possible, or at least as much of it as done as quickly as possible. So I'm going to do phase one, which is cut down the wood. I'm going to be using 1/2 inch plywood. I'm going to cut it down to about 24-36 for the measurements, but I may make it a little bit either taller or wider, just depending on if the pictures actually fit. I have 7 pictures that I need to put up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out the space, and then I'm going to place the pictures on before I cut, just to make sure that that's good enough space, because it's going to be a flower box, so I want enough room for the flower box, the pictures, of course the showcase, and so like the flowers really don't intrude on the pictures as much. And like I said, it's hot. I'm already sweating. I barely started anything besides setting up for this project, so let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so I figured out placement of how everything's going to be laid out. I think we're going to go ahead with this. I did do a few other placement options earlier, but I think this is the best placement. I had like a little hopscotch layout earlier, which I did like, but that means I would have to use more wood. So we're just going to go ahead with this. So I marked where the last picture, and make sure I say last 8x10 picture, because that's what size this is. This is an 8x10, and these smaller ones are 8x8. They're not all the same size because I did get these from Walmart, except for this one. This one came from Walgreens, but the rest of these came from Walmart, and doing it on Walmart's website, it said the resolution wasn't good enough, so I thought it was going to come out like super pixelated, which is why I went by 8x8. It still said the resolution quality was poor, but I just went ahead and chanced it anyway because I didn't want it to be super small. So I could have probably still done these pictures in 8x10 and it would have been fine, because they didn't come out super pixelated or like super poor quality. They were good enough quality. So I am going to make this a bit longer. So I did make a mark here at about 40 inches, and I'm going to make it a bit wider to also accommodate. So this is going to be about 40 inches. So it'll be 40 by 28. So I'm going to go ahead and mark off 28. And that should be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and use my level to make the straight line across. And then we'll get to cutting. I think what I'm going to do as far as the flower box placement is probably have it all the way at the bottom or close to the bottom. Or maybe I should make it just a little bit more, maybe like 42, just to give it at least 2 inches off the ground. Hmm. Let's do about 42 to give it about 2 inches off the ground for the flower box itself. And then go from there. We're on a small break. I kind of need a little bit of assistance, so we're gonna wait until he's done. Push the wood.
Easy.
Pull that in.
Easy.
Okay. All right. We are going to where's the other one? Okay. Alright, so what you need to do is make sure that I'm gonna push it through, that it pushes through straight.
We are wanting to.
Okay. No, it started off rocking. So it's not as Okay, so that wraps up for today. It's starting to get late, and I have a few other things I need to do. So I just need to do one more cut, which is the back piece for this memorial sign. But in the meantime, we've got a good portion of it done. We just need to get the rest of it done. And I think I will, today's Wednesday, so I think I will probably finish up either tomorrow or over the weekend, just depending on the weather, because I think it's supposed to rain sometime the rest of this week. So we'll figure it out from there, since I don't have an actual workshop to use to be indoors. I can't do it indoors. Well, I can do it indoors, but the sawdust, you know, creates a lot of mess, and I don't want to do that. So I would rather cut outside, and I'm going to be painting and of course sanding. Sand outside, and then I could paint inside. I don't mind that because you can open up windows to paint inside. But we'll see how the rest of these days go. So I will be back in a couple of days, but for you guys, it'll probably be in a second. So it's actually day 2. Well, it's actually literally like the next day. So day 2. It was supposed to rain today, which is why I wasn't going to finish it, or at least get to the second phase of doing the project. Since it's nice, I might as well take advantage of the day. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to clean up my cut from yesterday. I realized that I probably should have just used my circular saw, since it was a bigger piece of that was man. But I probably should have used my circular saw since it was a bigger piece of plywood, but I wasn't thinking. I don't know why, but I am going to just clean up that cut. I do have another piece of plywood that I need to cut, because when I cut this piece, the other side of the plywood I was going to use as like my second piece. The other side of it wasn't the same size, so I'm going to have to just use another sheet. Each sheet is 1/2 inch thick. I forgot the type of plywood that I'm using. I don't know. It's some scrap plywood that I had laying around in a shed. So I'll link it below, which one I have, as soon as I figure it out. So I ended up recutting everything because I didn't like how it was all coming out. It just wasn't right. So I brought a new piece of full plywood and just recut from the A-frame and the flower box, and I think it came out a lot better. So my day 2 was basically just recutting everything instead of just putting on the finishing touches, but it's perfectly fine because I was able to make up for it later on. didn't want to make the video super long, so stay tuned for part 2 next week. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Turn your post notifications on so you can get notified of the next video. I'll see you guys soon.